Hey YouTube, Big G back again with another video and the start of a new project. I'm actually quite excited with this one because it's been a long time coming, and that is I want to build my own arcade machine. So most of the bits and pieces have come together, so I'm just going to run through it. First of all, the most critical thing is the arcade PCB. Now this is a Xevious 3D board. It is working. I have tested it on one of my other machines. Great game, awesome shooter. Now Xevious 3D was a Japanese only title. I don't think it came to the States. How it got to South Africa I'm not sure. I love the original Xevious from back in the day, and then Xevious 3D, awesome game. And I think it was ported to the PlayStation as well for the console market. So PCB, main part, check, done. Next stage is controls, and here I've gone and salvaged, weighs a ton, but this is a actual control deck of another arcade machine. I think it was a fighting machine, also a Japanese title from High Tech. But what's great is it's got the 6 buttons. I've put in new joysticks. These are new buttons that are in here. Nothing's wired up at the back. Stainless steel, which is awesome, so durable, built for the arcades. So controls are there. Next stage is the wiring and the harnesses. And here I've got is heaps and heaps of wires that that are lying around here. I think that's going to be the most complicated part, is actually getting the wiring done. As you can see on the actual PCB, it's wired directly, so I don't need a JAMMA, although I've got a JAMMA harness. I'm going to leave that there. I have started, you can see it's full of little tags. So what I've done is I've gone and looked up the PCB just to make sure that I get the wiring right. I've looked it up on the net, and I've gone and started actually marking and noting each one of the wires, what are they for. The next stage is I'm not going to be using one of the good old monitors from the back in the day. I'm going to be using an LCD screen, which means then I need to have a converter. Okay, so here you can see I've purchased one of those CGA, EGA, YUV to VGA converters. Commonly used in a lot of the main machines that the guys are building nowadays. So purely this is going to be taking the video signal, which will be coming in from the PCB, and then converting it to my LCD screen. Here is a power supply. This is a switching power supply as used in the arcades. So this will give me my 5 volt and my 12 volt and the necessary power for the machine. So and obviously I've got heaps of wires all over the place. So first job is to make sure that I get it up and running with a decent picture, and that's why I've sort of busy building this little test board over here, so I can lay everything out here, get it all working, neaten up all the cables and so forth before I actually build the arcade cabinet around it. Okay, so I've gone and wired it up. There's my red, green, blue ground and sink, and I've connected that up to my LED, and the picture looks pretty good. A little bit of pixelation there. It's running at 1350 by something or other resolution, its highest resolution. On a smaller monitor or a smaller LCD screen it should actually even look better. Let's just get to some of the gameplay. It's got sort of a pseudo 3D effect to it. I haven't hooked up the sound yet, or the controls. So far so good. Well, the control panel is now finished. Let me just hold it up for you. So as you can see here, weighs a ton, but anyway, so 1 player, 2 player hooked up, and I've done all the wiring here at the back. Let me just move it a bit closer over there for you to see. Now this actually takes quite a while to do. Fortunately all the ground is daisy chained together, and just a tip, I don't want to get the glare there, but I don't know if you can see, each one of the control wires, the up, the downs, the buttons and so forth, are actually labeled. So coming from the JAMMA harness, or basically from the JAMMA connector on the actual PCB motherboard. I looked up the diagram, the schematic. They're easy to find on the net, and it would tell me that pin, what it was, whether it was player 1 up, player 2 down, player so forth for the joystick controls. And then it was a simple matter of, once I'd labeled it, I could then wire it up very easily. So I didn't actually make any mistakes. So just a tip from me, label these wires, label all of them, it makes it so much easier. So very chuffed with that. Let me just put that down. Okay, so this is the rest of the test rig. So here's the PCB for the arcade game for Xevious 3D. Once again, there's a switching power supply all hooked up. There's my HD converter, or CGA, EGA to VGA converter. I've taken the video, you can see the video, it comes in over here. There it is there, the red, the blue, the green and so forth. Over there, there's my 2 speakers. The reason I'm using 2 speakers is the only speakers I had were 4 ohm speakers. Now, it doesn't work with 4 ohm speakers because these old PCBs want 8 ohms. So I actually just went and wired it up into series. So positive to negative and so forth in series, and that gives me 8 ohms. So that should work fine. So it's time to test, guys. Let me switch it on. And we go straight into game. I've got it set on free play, so let me just get this control panel out and start a game. This is a great shooter. And the controls are working perfectly. Except I'm not too good at it. And that's the end of the game. So far so good. That's part 1 done, and now I can start working on the actual cabinet. So guys, I hope you enjoyed that, and yeah, I'm going to start the cabinet.